The story of executioner Charles Henry Sanson. Sanson became the official executioner in 1778 at the age of 39. Executioners weren't just people who enjoyed killing. They got a special education in anatomy. In fact, executioners knew so much about the human body that they were often asked for help instead of doctors. Sanson carried on the family tradition of cutting people's heads off with swords or axes, which caused a lot of suffering. But then, a machine called the guillotine was created. This made the process of execution more efficient. Sanson helped test and improve this machine. Guillotines later became famous during the French Revolution. As well as King Louis XVI, Sanson executed both nobles and leaders of the revolution. These executions were a symbol of the huge changes sweeping through France. They marked the end of the monarchy and the birth of a republic. Sanson's story helps us understand more about the French Revolution and the time he lived in.
Hi everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Tiffany.
I'm Jacqueline.
And we've been learning a little bit about French history and about a cool job, I guess, back then, but a very not so popular one. Because we're learning about the executioner of Charles Henry Sanson. Okay.
Wow.
Yes, so we learned a little bit about him. We're going to learn a bit more about him today as well. So shall we get started? Okay. Yeah, and the article says Sanson became the official executioner in 1778 at the age of 39.
That's
Quite
young. Quite young.
Maybe, I don't know if that's young or old at that time.
Probably very old. Because
maybe at that time.
Probably
it
old.
was a little bit old, but I guess like that's kind of a good thing. You want a mature executioner, I guess.
Yeah, true. 所以 Sanson 呢，在1778年呢，39岁的时候成为了官方刽子手。Doesn't sound like I think to me, I think it would be really difficult to get to that level.
Yeah,
Official. It just sounds really
right?
cool.
It means you're very good at
真的 killing people.
Cutting people's heads off at the right angle, right? You don't want to you want a nice clean finish. Yeah, here in the article it says executioners weren't just people who enjoyed killing. They got a special education in anatomy. Okay. So it's not like the scary thing we're thinking about, like, oh, executioners just love to kill people. They're like serial killers and they're maybe psychos. They're not. You actually have to really be educated and you really have to know your stuff. So that's why they had to learn things in anatomy. So anatomy is the scientific study of the physical structure of humans, animals, or plants. So for example, doctors and veterinarians, if you want to do surgery or want to perform surgery, you need to learn anatomy. You need to know how this bone connects where, how the muscles and tissues form around a human body.
所以 anatomy 就是解剖学，那么刽子手呢，也不一定代表他们喜欢杀人了。Just because they are executioners doesn't mean that they love to kill people, right?
It's just a job, right?
对，代表说呢，就是当这个刽子手要接受过特别的解剖学教育。
Here it says, in fact, executioners knew so much about the human body that they were often asked for help instead of doctors.
Oh. 所以其实事实上刽子手对人体了解的非常的透彻，所以他们常常就会向人们就会向他们求助，而不是向医生求助哦。
Next it says, Sanson carried on the family tradition of cutting people's heads off with swords or axes, which caused a lot of suffering. Okay, so remember his family, they were generations of executioners. So here we have quite a few words to learn. We see the word carry on. To carry on something means to continue an activity or a task. Like, for example, you can carry on watching TV. Maybe your mom told you to wash the dishes first, and now you can carry on watching TV. Or maybe you can carry on doing your homework after taking a break. Or you can carry on working. And here in the article, Sanson continued their family's work. And they used swords and axes. An axe is basically a tool that kind of looks like a hammer. It has a handle, but instead you have a very sharp blade. And usually we use axes to chop wood or to cut things in half like trees. Now, he continued the family tradition of cutting people's heads off or cutting, the bodies off. A tradition is a noun here and it means a belief, custom, or way of doing something that has existed for a long time among a particular group of people. Okay, so it's basically a set of beliefs or customs. The easiest thing we can think of is, for example, Chinese New Year. In a tradition in Chinese New Year is to clean your house before the New Year's to sweep away bad luck. Another tradition is to eat fish to show abundance in the new year. Now, we can use tradition in a sentence like this. It's a tradition for seniors at the school to welcome the new freshmen to a sports day.
所以 carry on something 就是去继续做什么 tradition 就是一个传统。比如说 their family has a tradition of gathering for a big meal on Thanksgiving Day. 或者是说什么是一个传统，比如说 lighting fireworks on New Year's Eve is a tradition in many cultures around the world.
Now, when you cut something off, it really literally means to remove a part of something to maybe make it smaller or shorter. Like you can cut your hair off or cut the string off. Here's a really fun thing to learn though. You can even use cut somebody or something off as slang to show that you want to stop something or to separate something or someone. Like some people might want to cut off smoking, like they want to stop that completely. Maybe some people want to cut off social media, meaning they don't want to use social media anymore. You can also cut somebody off, which means like you don't want them around. You just want to like stop talking to them. You don't want any kind of connection or relationship. So sometimes people might say, cut my ex off. Your ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, whoever. Okay, like you can say, I really needed to cut my ex off or else I'll never forget him or her.
所以 cut something off 就是将什么东西切除哦。那这个 axe 就是斧头，好可怕哦。
Yeah,
我现在有 goosebumps。
Same here, my neck doesn't feel very
真的
comfortable right now.
这个字超讨厌的。
Me too, just thinking about it. Yuck. Okay, anyway, so of course, obviously, like when you're trying to cut someone's head off, they're going to be, suffering a lot. Suffering here is actually a noun, and it means physical or mental pain. So we can use it like this. We can say, war always brings so much human suffering. Or, the medicine finally kicked in and helped stop John from so much suffering. Okay, now the verb is suffer. You take out the ing. And basically to suffer means to be in pain or to be in physical or mental pain.
所以 suffering 就是名词，是折磨的意思哦。那比如说忍受折磨，你就可以讲 Despite all the suffering she endured, she remained resilient and hopeful. 好勇敢的一个女孩子。或者是说你正在经历什么。The region is currently suffering from a severe drought, affecting thousands of people. Drought 就是干旱了，所以他们正在经历干旱之苦。所以 Sanson 延续了家族的传统，他就用剑啊或者是斧头去砍下大家的头，这其实造成了很多的痛苦哦。
Rightly so. Next in the article says, but then a machine called the guillotine was created. This made the process of execution more efficient. Okay, so before you had to literally cut people's head off with this axe. It's kind of like chopping wood or chopping a tree, but a new machine was made. Here we see the phrase but then, and it's used to introduce additional information or information that contrasts with something that has just been said. What machine was invented? Well, a machine called the guillotine was invented. And this machine was originally from France, and it was made specifically for cutting people's heads off. It has a heavy blade, and you release the blade, and it slides down a wooden frame, and it just cuts things off really nice and clean for you. The guillotine was very efficient. Efficient here is an adjective, and it means doing something in a good, careful, and complete way with no waste of time, money, or energy. Okay? For example, we can use in a sentence like this. William found a really efficient way to sort out all the data onto the computer.
所以 but then 就是不过呢，另一方面，那后来呢，这个I find it so hard to pronounce it. Guillotine?
Yeah.
Guillotine? Okay, 是断头台的意思哦。所以呢，这个 efficient 就是有效率的，因为有这个断头台的发明，就 就不会说好好找什么 angle， 因为他们已经设定好了吧 I think， so it's gonna be easier. It's gonna be an easier
release
job.
it and
Oh gosh. 所以呢，这个什么东西很有效率，你就可以说 The new software system is highly efficient， 代表非常的有效率 in processing large volumes of data。所以呢，到后来啊，有一种叫断头台的机器创造出来，整个执行死刑的过程就可以更加高效。So maybe you can kill like 100 people in a day.
because all you have to do is just, put their heads on the guillotine and then next, instead of manually doing it. All right, so next the article says, Sanson helped test and improve this machine. Guillotines later became famous during the French Revolution.
所以 Sanson 他也帮助我去测试啊，改进了这个机器。后来呢，这个呢断头台在法国大革命期间就变得非常的有名哦。
I'm not sure if that's a great invention or... Yeah, next it says, as well as King Louis XVI, Sanson executed both nobles and leaders of the revolution. Okay, that's kind of like a cool thing to have on your resume, I guess. Like you were able to execute a famous king. So here we use the phrase as well as, and it just means in addition to. You can also use it for the word also. As well as King Louis XV, by the way, Marie Antoinette was famously sent to the guillotines, okay? Now, a noble is a person belonging to a family of high social rank. They basically belong to nobility. So people who are nobles back then, they usually were very, very rich people, highly ranked social people, and they probably had land at the time. So that's a noble back then.
所以 noble 就是贵族的意思。那我们有看到一个片语 as well as 就是除此之外 in addition to something 代表还有什么。所以除了路易16国王呢 Sanson 也处决了一些贵族啊，一些革命的领袖。
Kind of cool, I guess. Next, the article says, these executions were a symbol of the huge changes sweeping through France. Huge here is an adjective, and of course it just means extremely large in size or amount. For example, we can say the new shopping mall was a huge success, attracting thousands of visitors on its opening day. So a lot of people went to the new opening of the mall. Where is it?
Yeah, 这 huge 就是程度很大很高的。那当然巨大的庞大也可以，像我们有一个很大的影响 to have a huge impact on something. 比如说 the discovery of antibiotics had a huge impact on modern medicine. 所以呢，其实这些执行死刑呢的任务或这些事情也成为了法国正在经历的巨大变革的象征哦。
Next it says, they marked the end of the monarchy and the birth of a republic. So why was the French Revolution, such an important piece of history? Is because they wanted to end the monarchy. So they wanted to end like a system of government ruled by a king or a queen. They did not want king or queens basically ruling them anymore. Like for example, England still has a system of monarchy. So basically England still has monarchs, or England still has the system of kings and queens. Here we see the word birth, and birth here means the beginning of a new situation, idea, or place, etc. For example, we can say, the Declaration of Independence was a document that showed the birth of a new country, America.
所以 monarchy 就是君主制， birth 就是开始啦或起源的意思，当出生的意思也可以。我们常常说生小孩 You can say to give birth to a kid or to a child. She gave birth to a boy and a girl last month.
So what did the end of the monarchy give birth to? It gave birth to a republic. Republic is a noun and it means a country that is governed by a president and politicians elected by the people where there is no king or queen. So basically, people can vote and they can choose who they want for their leader. So that's the main difference between a monarchy and a republic. Monarchy, remember, the king or queen kind of has absolute say, whereas the republic, the people, the citizens can vote for their leaders. We can use republic in a sentence like this. The ancient Romans were one of the first people to form a republic.
所以 republic 就是一个共和国的意思。比如说 The United States of America is a republic with the president as the head of state and government. 所以呢，在那个时候啊，他们就是标志着君主制的结束跟共和国的诞生。
Next, the article says, Sanson's story helps us understand more about the French Revolution and the time he lived in.
所以 Sanson 的故事也帮助我们更去了解这个法国大革命啊，还有他所生活的时候那个时代的状况哦。
Yeah, I think it also shows us that, it wasn't something, he wasn't like an evil person that was like, I love like cutting people's heads off. He kind of had to do it because of his family tradition, but he did really make a big change in French Revolution history with the guillotine. Pretty cool. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of our article, and we do have our For You chat question. It says, "What else do you know about the French Revolution?"
I think
do you know much?
I actually don't, but I think it started in 1789.
Yeah, like the 17th century.
I think it lasted 10 years.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how long.
I think it was like it really lasts long.
Yeah. Like besides the executions, I know that it was mainly because the French were so fed up and tired of, the French aristocrats, the government, aristocrats, meaning like, the nobles and people like that, the monarchy, because the French people, they were being heavily taxed. The monarchs also spent a lot of money. So that's why, when you go to France, you see all these beautiful chateaus or palaces. That was like some of them were built during the French Revolution. And the French people wanted to overthrow them. So yeah, we see that famously, we learned Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, they were sent to the guillotines, and that ended the French monarchy and ended the French Revolution. I do know that there was another famous event from the French Revolution. It was a day when the rioters stormed the Bastille. And that's why the French have Bastille Day on July 14th.
Okay.
Yeah. So it has nothing, a lot of people think, July, because Americans celebrate July 4th. The French celebrate July 14th. Some people accidentally get these two events maybe like mixed together. They're two separate events. Yeah.
OK， 所以这是今天所有的主题。那如果大家觉得意犹未尽，也可以加入空中家教，跟老师同学一起讨论哦。
Yeah, that's right. All right, we hope you guys enjoyed the article. That's it for today, and we'll see you guys very soon. Bye.
Bye.
Vocabulary Review. Tradition. The tradition of wearing white wedding dresses started with Queen Victoria in 1840. Suffering. Although Joanne was upset that her grandfather had died from his illness, she was glad that his suffering had ended. Efficient. My new refrigerator is so efficient that it uses 40% less power than my old one. Huge. Deborah's latest novel is a huge success. It sold out in just 1 week. Birth. The birth of the modern free country of Germany happened when West and East Germany came together in 1990. Republic. Italy got rid of its last king and became a republic in 1946.
智慧小补帖
Anatomy. Axe. Guillotine. Guillotine. Noble. Monarchy.